At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, everybody, welcome. It's Friday. And what does that mean for Tuss Talk with Ty? That means it is. Well, let's find out. 3, 2, 1. Yo, it's Flamingo Friday. Hope you guys had a fantastic week. I know I've been wheeling and dealing. I've been kicking some ass. So much content produced this week on the channel. Really awesome. Really appreciate it. And those of you who've watched, really do. Man, we got everything from the new logo is more or less, you can see it up here on the top, but right there, you can see the new logo. That happened really about, 2 weeks ago. We got that accomplished, right? We've made some changes to Discord with Patreon supporters and what, they have, of course, a little bit more access. We've got portal targets are available. Patreon supporters will have access to those first. I am no longer uploading PFF stats anymore. I'm not going to do it. I might throw one in general chat or in main chat every once in a while, but that's something I'm glad that I'm able to at least kind of, when I can show it to you guys, I'm glad I'm able to share some of that stuff with you guys. But we've been crushing it. I told you guys at the end of last year we got a lot of changes coming, and they're still happening, right? We're doing these Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon supporter interviews. Now, update. We're supposed to have the interview, which is what that intro was, right? That interview is supposed to happen on Sunday at noon. That could change because of differing reasons. We got some stuff going on behind the scenes. But, yeah, I'm going to need to just give you guys a heads up. I'm going to let you know. Obviously, we'll know tomorrow because Game 3 in the SEC tournament, assuming Arkansas makes it, or excuse me, I say Game 3. The championship game is at 12 p.m. It's at noon. So we can't do the live if Arkansas makes it. If Arkansas goes the distance and they play in the SEC championship. I think the odds of that are not real high, but you never know. They're actually favored against A&M. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but ESPN matchup predictor has Arkansas favored. Doesn't mean much. I think it's pretty 50-50. Bro, the edits are sick. Oh, appreciate that, Mike. I do appreciate that, sir. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Ty, you kind of sound like Ty Richardson. I've never heard that in my life. Really? You think I sound like Ty Richardson? Okay. That's a first. Never heard that one. We have similar first names. I prefer to go by Ty out in public because it's weird when someone calls me by my full name. It's weird. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to shorten that up. We're just going to go by Ty, T-Y. I thank you, I guess, Johnny. Hey, Ty, I've watched your podcast for a while. Now finally buckled down and made an account. Hey, awesome. I appreciate what you do. Stayed up until 1 a.m., finished the night off listening to your post-game show. I appreciate that, Trevon. I'm glad you made an account, a YouTube account. There's so many people who watch this show that are not subscribers, but they watch the show and they keep coming back, but they don't subscribe, or they don't have accounts and they're watching it through like a third-party link, and they're just watching it through that link, almost like anytime you click on like a link, it just takes you to the video, whether you have a YouTube account or not. So many of my audience are that, and so sometimes they don't always show up in the current viewers. Like I've heard the current viewers numbers are not really ever that accurate, because YouTube sometimes only accounts for the people that are here that are subscribers. I think they may have fixed that, but there was a time, and it may still be the case, where even people with YouTube accounts who were watching were not counted as part of your viewership. They were counted afterwards. Afterwards they were, but live, up-to-date viewer count. That's why I don't put a lot of much into that. Okay. That hat. Hey, listen, man. Oh, I was having a bad hair day. I'm not gonna lie. I've been struggling with it. But listen, I'm a Rams fan. You know that, Will. I do love hearing that you guys appreciate the content. I really do. So much work goes into this. I'm not even lying. Like I don't really. I may not work long 9 to 5 hours like so many of you do, but I never really have like a day off. You know what I mean? I'm always working. I'm always grinding. I'm always coming up with new ideas. Things for Discord. I kind of messed up XP distribution on the Kentucky game. My apologies. We were able to fix that. Someone caught it. I do appreciate that. Shout out to Mike. And we're able to fix that. I've got a lot on my plate. There's no doubt. Someone mentioned I need to hire someone to like take care of all this. And I've been doing a pretty good job up until now. It's just not as easy sometimes. You get overwhelmed, and you look at everything that you have to do for the week, and slowly things kind of slide down your list of things to do. Ty was Ty before Ty was cool. Oh, Ty's a good dude, man. I like Ty Richardson. He's a good guy. I texted him this morning, actually. The eyes on that logo just makes the logo pop so much more. And it's what I wanted from the get-go. I ended up staying with it with the original picture or the original logo. Mostly because they did such a good job. Ashley, the person who came up with the original design. I basically drew what I wanted, the eyes and the tusk, and the nose holes with the logo, and she did it perfectly. She left the eyes out because she thought there wasn't enough room on the thumbnail, and it makes sense why she didn't do it. I took my boy Ish out to dinner. We ate at the Noodles. We ate at Noodles, and we sat down and we drew some more ideas. He's a graphic designer as well. And he ultimately he liked where I was going with it, and he just made it even better, and he added the eyes, and he did a fantastic job. Okay, we need to get on to sports, because I know someone's going to bitch and moan that we're not on to sports yet. So we better get there. First off, shout out to sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, Apex Tattoo Studio, and, of course, the Odd Soul. Shout out to all the show sponsors. You saw their ads run. Odd Soul doesn't have an ad, but I'm going to give them an ad read. Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzaria, located on Emma Street here in Springdale, Arkansas. Fantastic pies. All sorts of good stuff on tap. Local IPAs. Go support your local bars. Why not hit up? Hey, if you're in town for the game, by the way, not televised for whatever stupid reason. Well, I mean, we know why. They didn't have – it's not all their fault. But they didn't have the staff to – why? I think Razorback baseball, no offense to the other sports, basketball, I mean, of course basketball's got to be on the high on the list, on the highest part of that list. Razorback baseball needs to be second. If they're playing on the same day, I mean, no disrespect to the other sports. No disrespect to them at all, okay? We got to give respect and love to the ladies. They're doing a fantastic job. But let's be real. The vast majority of the state wants to watch Razorback baseball. It just is what it is. Why that's not televised, why that wasn't made a top priority, I don't know. I know it's Louisiana Tech, but it's Louisiana Tech. I mean, Louisiana Tech, they can be salty. These teams out of Louisiana, including that one school from the SEC, I mean, they're you just never know what you're in for. And by the way, I don't know that it's a guarantee that Arkansas takes this series this weekend. Louisiana Tech, I think they're 8-5 on the year. From what I've read, pretty salty bunch, man. They're going to be tough. Arkansas, we know they took a hit in the bullpen. They continue to have guys coming out of the bullpen that are banged up. Please stop texting me and DMing me. My gosh. So this is a big series. This is a big series. I think it's the biggest series of the year. It's undoubtedly the biggest series of the year. Now, you can't count the individual matchups in Texas. You can't count those because you only played those teams once. It was fun watching Arkansas beat the hell out of Oklahoma State. That was fun. That was really fun. Boy, their fans have like an inferiority complex with Razorbacks. I don't know what it is. We beat their ass in baseball, and like they just can't get over it. I don't understand it. Like I accept it when Arkansas basketball loses to Oklahoma State. I accept it. Arkansas just, in those games they weren't the better team that day. Now it's something different when you look at the whole stretch, when you look at the entire season. Arkansas is a better team typically overall, at least the last couple of years. But I still give respect, and when Oklahoma State's better, I say it in basketball. They have been in baseball. We've got your number. Deal with it. So, anyways, big series this weekend, not televised. I'm very disappointed in that. Very disappointed. I was really looking forward to it, and I get it. You've got basketball. We can't be too selfish, right? But still. It is Flamingo Friday, by the way. Wow, I'm wearing the shirt. You guys ask, and I deliver. Flamingo Friday, it is upon us. Louisiana Tech has a squalid. Oh, my God. Solid squad. We're going to combine the words. They're squalid this year. Truth bomb. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I know someone's going to take offense to that, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not trying to be edgy. It's just the truth. I mean, they're letting fans down, if you want my opinion, by not. And I also look at it, too, like, again, you've got basketball tonight, and that is at 6th, and it just kind of is what it is. Still say you need an upside down. Oh, God. Here we go with the pineapples again. Come on. Softball implemented more replay this year and requires more staff, apparently, says Will. Yeah. Kopetsky's still on the mushrooms. Oh, no. Never stopping Tuss Talk with Ty. I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to leave a notation for time on this one down in the comments because someone's going to be mad. Someone's going to be upset. But I had to get that intro out there because I want you guys to, the Patreon supporters, this will be a fascinating interview on Sunday. I'm really excited for that. It's not sports related, but it is kind of, right? I mean, this is the guy that's responsible for the graphics for the Razorback football team, and that's pretty exciting. He does a good job for the university, and I've got respect for Game, man. I want to bring him on and talk to him. We got some interesting games tonight, all day, really. It's a full day of SEC basketball. Arkansas and A&M at 6 p.m. Vanderbilt and Kentucky. I feel like between that – well, listen, I think 3 out of the 4 of these games are fascinating. Alabama should take care of Mississippi State, but I will be rooting for Mississippi State. It's weird for me to say this. Mississippi State, who's 21-11 on the year, they finished 8-10 in conference play, taking on Alabama, the 1 seed in the projected 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Going to be fascinating to see how this ends up. Again, Alabama, who finished 16-2 in conference play. That's interesting. I think all 4 of these games really have something to offer. Tennessee and Missouri, offense versus defense there. Vanderbilt and Kentucky, a very well-balanced, recently on-fire Kentucky team who also recently lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's I think you can argue they've had a similar year to Arkansas. In fact, actually better in conference play. 11-7 in conference play, 19-13 overall. Arkansas, of course, is 20-12 now. But Vandy and Kentucky is going to be a fascinating matchup. I think all 4 of these games offer something. The first game tips off one of the reasons why I wanted to go live at 11, It's because you've got this Alabama-Mississippi State game going down at 12, if I'm looking at the times right. Tennessee-Mizzou will be at 2, Arkansas A&M at 6, and then Vandy and Kentucky at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to have time to watch all these games, but I'm going to have the TV on I'm going to have the TV on all day trying to watch basketball. I'm really excited for this. But 12 p.m., that's a way to tip off the day right there. Alabama, Mississippi State. Louisiana Tech and Arkansas are at, that's 3 p.m., right? Yeah, 3 p.m. There it is. 3 p.m. I like Arkansas's odds of winning this series. Listen, it wouldn't shock me with how well Arkansas's been hitting the damn ball, knocking homers out. Wouldn't shock me at all if Arkansas finds a way to sweep. But we have seen them struggle, especially on day 3. We've seen them struggle a little bit at the plate, at least early on. We'll see what their bullpen does. Again, that's going to be another interesting thing on day 3. Tigert, I think, expected to return. Won't be. I don't think it'll be for the Auburn series. I could be wrong. But that's March 17th. So you've got next week, you've got UNLV as your midweek, and you got those two games. I love that. I love that you have 2 games in the middle of the week. It just gives you – I just love that it's this time of year where you just kind of always have Arkansas sports, right? Now, basketball is about to be done with. How many games does Arkansas have left? We'll talk about that here in just a second. But and then March 17th, you start your first SEC series at home at Baum-Walker. March 17th, 18th, and 19th. That is Friday night will be 6:30 p.m. Love it. Love it. Love it. We're getting into this, 5:30 to 6:30, back to usual. Now, when you play LSU on the road, that'll be a 7 p.m. first pitch, and then you come back home to play Alabama, who – are they still undefeated? Tell me they're not still undefeated. Are they still undefeated? Last I saw, they were 11-0. Let's pull that up. Is that – oh, it's the last thing we need. Oh, my God. They're 14-0. I know they haven't played anybody. I get it. The reason why it's like facepalm, well, number one, they're scoring a hell of a lot of runs. I mean, they scored their first 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of their first 6 games, they got into double-digit runs. Came close in both their 4th game and their 6th game. They had some games canceled. They were supposed to play Pepperdine, and that got canceled. They haven't beaten anyone that's like, oh, my God, yet. They've got Columbia coming up on March 10th, South Alabama, and then they play Florida to open up conference play on March 16th. They could really be walking in here if there is something to be believed about them. Now, I think once you enter conference play, the conversation changes entirely. The conversation, it's just, you throw it out the window what you've done in non-con, whether you've done really well or not. Well, it's usually not a good sign if you've struggled a lot, but, yeah, they are 14-0. Imagine them walking in to Fayetteville with at least 2 SEC series wins along with that record to boot. Imagine that. It might actually make for a very interesting environment at Baum-Walker. So I'm going to root for him to do that because I just want to put him right back down. I want to knock him down a peg. You never know. They could do that to Arkansas. They could knock Arkansas down a peg, and then we got to hear that all year. God help us. God help us all. Arkansas still ranked inside the top 10 according to D1 Baseball. They'll stay there for a little while. We'll see what they do against Louisiana Tech. Going to be a very fascinating matchup again. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Plenty to listen. The content this week, again, it's just been crushing it. Just going to say it. We've been crushing it. We had a lot of comments retracted. I don't know what you guys are doing in chat. Can Anthony Black consistently beat his man off the dribble and finish at the rim like last night? Boy, it looked pretty easy for him last night, didn't it? I hope so. I'm here. We could start, says John Hawes. All right. Well, the party can begin. Hey, Hawes and Austin and Scott Swindle every once in a while do a really good job of sharing the content and tagging me. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, I do appreciate it when you super chat and you like and all that stuff. But, man, it goes so far when you guys share the content. It really does. Really does. So I do appreciate you guys that do share. What's up, Judah Williams? How you doing? So again, you've got the quarterfinals tonight or today, all day. Tomorrow, semifinals start at 1 p.m. Eastern, so 12 p.m. our time. on ESPN. I think game what is considered technically game 12, but it would be game 2 of the day on Saturday. I think is 30 minutes after the first game. I think it's either 30 minutes or an hour. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then the championship will be at noon on Sunday. So, a lot of basketball this weekend for if you're just an SEC fan. A lot of basketball. Arkansas dished out another offer. Now, as far as I know, in the transfer portal, they've only offered 3 players. And they whiffed on one, and they got the other. I'm trying to pull that up here. They whiffed on Mason Lunsford, who committed to LSU, 6'7", 305 player out of Maryland. Now, I did not have time to actually verify that this morning. That's just what I was told. So I believe he committed to LSU. This was a guy that a lot of people thought was going to follow Dan Enos, and he did not. Again, according to the person I talked to about 30 minutes before I went live, I hadn't had a chance to. I just kind of forgot about the offer for a little bit, and I thought, I better text so and so, and they said, yeah, he committed to LSU. They offered. We know Singletary committed. I mean, that's that whole ordeal. I mean, Otis Kirk said it himself. That kind of came out of nowhere. We knew that there was interest, and an offer had been submitted, and we'd kind of heard about some of that. But Singletary, of course, committed to Arkansas, 5-star defensive back, 6'2", 170 pounds. Former 5-star out of high school, big get for the Arkansas secondary. Like Sam Pittman said, we're going to take them if they're out there and they're interested. The big dogs, the guys that really stand out, and that's someone who stands out. They have another offer. Now, this was first published in Patreon portal targets on the Patreon. If you look at your Patreon screen, for those of you that are members, on the left-hand side of the screen, scroll down to Patreon. You'll see Patreon or portal target under Patreon member, under the general member chat. You'll see that I added Cameron Johnson, 6'4", 305 lineman out of Houston. He's a sophomore. 1 sack on 586 pass block snaps last season. I think he graded out pretty high on his Pro Football Focus. That is not published. Again, I'm not going to publish that on Discord unless it's in general chat for everybody to see. But 1 sack on 586 pass block attempts. That's it's pretty interesting. Other schools are starting to circle the wagons a little bit, trying to get Cameron interested. But Arkansas did offer, and we'll see what happens. This is going to be a good test for the staff. They can lure someone in like that, and it's clear that Arkansas is still interested in guys to play at the line on the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of things. Right? We know they're going to go after an interior guys. Sam Pittman said it himself. Again, that's Cameron Johnson, 6'4", 305 pounds, sophomore out of Houston. So you missed on Lunsford. Now they're going after an interior. Cameron played guard at Houston. I think I saw that on PFF. He played guard. He mostly lined up at guard last year. Other than that, we'll have to wait and see what else is going on. If there are more offers out there, I don't know of them just yet. Sometimes these things can be, you might be lucky and be one of the first people to hear about an offer, and then sometimes you're kind of, you're late to the show. So it just kind of happens that way sometimes. So again, if you're a Patreon subscriber or a Patreon member, you have access to that and you can see it. Yeah. He did just text his Twitter. Okay. Yeah. All right. So he did commit to. You're talking about the lineman out of Maryland. Yeah. Okay. See, I saw that. I was texting with someone, and I thought, I better ask about Lunsford. And he responded literally right as I'm getting ready to go live. And I'm like, shit, I don't have time to. I already had everything pulled up. Talk forever, Ty. Stun the like, says William Phillips. Yeah, make sure you guys like the video. I wish all the Hogs the absolute best, says Philip White. Same. Yeah. All right, Arkansas and A&M. All right. Let's just put it up. Let's get the poll up. Let's do it. Here it comes. Let's do this. Arkansas. I mean, this is very simple because it's going to be the exact same Discord question. There you go. That's going to be the question in Discord, but why not poll it in the chat? There you go. Arkansas wins tonight versus A&M, yes or no? You tell me. Listen, I think some people think that Arkansas kind of lucked out last night. You can argue that. If that shot at the end had gone in for Auburn, I don't know that we're talking about an Arkansas win yesterday. Razor says, Razor, Blazer, Taser. Razor says, going to be another nail biter. I think you're probably right. Now, hang on. Let me get a sippy sip here. Let me get a sip. That Pepsi Zero always goes down smooth. The superior cola product, by the way. I don't want to influence anybody's decision. Looking at A&M a little bit. So, again, Arkansas is favored, according to the matchup predictor at 54%, 54.7%. For you percentage freaks out there who got on to me about recruiting rankings. A&M at 45.3, right? See, we got the math. We've got it all here in front of us. Right now, the over-under is at 137.5. So, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like this is going to – and I agree with the nail-biter statement. I think that it will be a nail-biter. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. A&M playing pretty good basketball as of late, right? I mean, they finished out the regular season. Listen, they lost on the road to Fayetteville – or to Arkansas and Fayetteville. And then they won, including wins against Missouri and Auburn. They won 1, 2, 3, and Arkansas. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their next 9 games. I told you guys in chat A&M was good, and I said this before Arkansas. I said this even when Arkansas beat A&M. I said Arkansas beat a good A&M team. I think they're gonna turn around and play good ball. They did lose to Kentucky earlier in the year in a close game, 67-76, and then they went on the road to Auburn, a very tough at the time, especially a very tough place to win at. They won 79-63. They beat a very good for a Vanderbilt team, and I think overall salty, especially on the offensive side of things. A good Vanderbilt team. They beat Vanderbilt 72-66. They lose to Arkansas by 11. I just thought Arkansas was not a good matchup. And I think if I remember right, I picked Arkansas to win that because I didn't like the guard matchups for A&M. Too much talent for A&M to overcome, and especially in Bud Walton. Arkansas gets the win by 11, 81-70. Not a lot of 80 points given up by them. Not a lot of 80 points given up. They didn't give up 80 to Kentucky. They didn't give up 80 to Auburn. They didn't give up 80 to Vanderbilt. They don't give up a lot of 80 points, and they gave up 81 points to Arkansas. That's not a lot. Arkansas scored more, but that was a pretty good game by the Razorbacks. And like I said, they went on a very nice win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their next 7. And won 7 of their next, or 8 of their next 9. I mean, this was just great basketball. They beat Alabama 67-61. They're on a hot streak. This is going to be a tough game. This is a good squad. This is a good basketball team. A&M did finish 15-3 in conference play. Say what you want about the SEC. I don't know where I'm at anymore. If you buy into the net rankings 100%, then you believe that, you know what, yeah, they really are that good. They really are capable of doing some damage in March Madness. I would argue the last 2 years have proven the opposite, even though Lenardi, right now in his in Lenardi's bracketology, he likes 8. I think it's 8 teams. What I looked at this morning, he likes 8 teams out of the SEC. Okay, how many of them make it to the Sweet 16? 2? I mean, maybe 3. I know they're going to be spread out all across the brackets. I get it, but they've just not proven to me the last 2 years, last 2 and then 3 years if you count a little further back. They just haven't really proven it to me that they can consistently get teams. So I don't know. The net, and every year's different now. Every year's different. Especially because of the transfer portal. It's not like 5-6 years ago where the trend set for, 3-4 years. Like, that's your trend. Now it's like every year's different. And high school kids have always had an impact on college basketball. These highly, highly sought-after kids, right? And then you have super seniors here and there that can make a difference. And then you have these transfer. The game today is just so much different. It dramatically can change every year. So, and who knows, maybe this year it is more of the same. Maybe we get the vast majority of the bracket's going to look similar to last year. I don't know. But, looking at Lenardi's bracketology, 9 teams out of the Big Ten. The Big 12 has slid down to 7. The SEC slid into 8. ACC at 5, which I'm actually a little surprised by that. Big East at 5. Pac is now, they've gone from 2. Remember, it wasn't, 2-3 weeks ago, they were at 2 teams. Now they're at 4. Mountain West with 3. American at 2. The WCC at 2. So the Big Ten is the leader in this category, and they probably should be. There's a number of really good teams in that conference. Big 12 at 7. I think the Big 12 and the SEC, one way or another, end up tying the amount of teams into the tournament. So, saying all that to say, A&M, how legitimate are they with that 15-3 conference record, 23-8 overall record? It is tough to it's tough to put a finger on just how good the conference really is. But if you're buying into it, this isn't just a good team. This is a damn good team. They split against Arkansas. They got hammered in game 1 against Arkansas. And then they got some sweet revenge, winning a close one at home, 62-56. And they beat at Mizzou. I mean, that's, they beat Tennessee. They've just shown to me they are a worthy opponent. They're a very good basketball team. They don't have the talent that Kentucky, Alabama, and Arkansas has, but damn, they're so well coached. They are so well coached. They, they've got Wade Taylor who leads them in at least 2 of the 3 leading categories. When you look at points per game and assists per game. They right now they're kind of a mediocre scoring team. We know they're good at getting to the free throw line. They're averaging about 73 points a game. The rebound game, they've struggled a little bit, but they've got, they're improving a little bit. They're improving in second chance points. They're at 37 rebounds a game, and they're at just allowing 65 points per game. And right now, listen, their school history, not great in postseason play. It's not. Maybe that changes this year. A&M certainly looks like they're pretty hot. And that shouldn't shock anybody if you look at last year. We talk about Musselman flipping the script in February or towards the end of the season. A&M has done the same thing. And they've gotten pretty hot. So they're definitely in. Arkansas is definitely in. Let's look at the poll. 71% of you think Arkansas will get the dub today or tonight. 71%. If you haven't taken the poll, it's up there for you. Let's probably get the Hogs tonight. Okay. Our guards, good. It's the bigs I'm worried about. But I think that's why we saw a lot of Kamani early in the tournament, so others don't get worn out. Yeah, and that's a good take, actually. That's a good point. Hadn't really thought of that. I thought it was to try and control maybe a little bit of the fouling. We know that they can both get into some foul trouble. You don't want those guys going in at half, both of them with 2 fouls. You want to limit that as much as you can. Ty, have you reached 1 million views yet? I'm close. I'm close. I think I'm at 970,000 views. See, you're going to ask me something like that midstream, then I'm like, all right, well, I got to go look. Am I? What am I at? Scroll over to about 975,000 total views. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Hogs are worn out, I'm afraid, with too many minutes on the floor. Yeah, Devo, who collected all 40 minutes yesterday. A lot of key minutes. That's something to consider, right? If you do make it to tomorrow, how worn out are you going to be? How worn out are you going to be with 2 games under your belt? This is a good tournament tester. It really is. It's a good tournament tester. It's a good idea. It's a good way to measure just kind of what you think you might be able to do in the NCAA tournament. Now, matchups are going to matter. I know some say they don't. I fully believe they do. But this is a good measurement to try and figure out where Arkansas is at, right? At least what you think they might be capable of. it'd be really nice if Arkansas could find a way and get a win. You feel like you started to build that confidence. Why not add on to it? All right, let's get into the title of the video, talking about spring camp. Oh, and by the way, I am taking the Razorbacks. I don't know if I said that or not. I am taking the Hogs. I think it's going to be close. Probably high 60s, I feel like. I don't know. Nothing would surprise me, but 68, 66 kind of feel to it. Kind of like last night, final possession, maybe. I think Arkansas is good enough to mop the floor with A&M, but A&M's on a hot streak right now. They're playing really good ball, but I am going to take the Hogs by a slim single-digit margin. That's where I'm at. Arkansas started spring camp. Spring camp. I'm going to mark that. 40 minutes. We're talking Razorback football spring camp. I was there. I was there. I've got footage. I've been going over it this morning. I'm gonna release a short probably today. Got to see Tesla. Got to see the new quarterbacks. Watch them throw the ball around a little bit. I'm gonna say it is day one. It's day one of spring camp. So not only is it day one, it's day one when they haven't been together as a team for a little bit. What I saw were the newbies. I was kind of watching their reaction. It's different because last year the quarterbacks that I watched were guys that had been here for a couple of years at least. Not a lot of newness at quarterback last year. They were seasoned in terms, like you could see they were dialed into what they were doing. All the newbies, I was watching Tesla, Malachi, Criswell. They were all kind of doing this right here, and I'm not kidding. They're kind of looking around, they're surveying the whole thing. They're kind of soaking it all in. Not saying they weren't concentrating on what they were doing, just saying like in between drills and in between what they were doing, you could tell they were just kind of like, all right, soaking it in. Listen, Criswell's coming from North Carolina. All right, this environment's not going to blow him away, and he's been here. You know, he knows what's going on in Fayetteville. He knows what's up. He's an Arkansas kid. But taking it all in, just seeing the practice as a whole, it was fascinating to watch them. You know, Tesla looks. Listen, they've got cleats and helmets on. They're on that turf. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Tesla's 6'6". He's not 6'6". Okay, he's not 6'5". Probably somewhere between like a 6'2" and 6'3". That's where I would guess him to be at. I don't know that I buy 6'4" necessarily. KJ, who's listed at about 6'2.5", 6'3", roughly. I think they have him at 6'3". He was shoulder pad to shoulder pad with KJ. Maybe a little bit on KJ when you try to look. Again, that's just looking at these guys with cleats on that turf. All right? I'm not exactly small. I walk literally right by the players. I actually bump elbows into some of them when you're trying to move around the sideline. So I get a pretty good view of how big they are. God, Chamblee is a massive human being, but I saw that last year when I saw that last year in fall camp. The receivers are all huge. They're all big. They probably average 6'2", 6'3". They're big dudes, man. Tesla looked pretty quick. I have it on film where he had a bomb throw to him on the sidelines. He had a deep throw on the sidelines. Didn't see what exactly transpired at the end because of where I was at on the field or where I was at on the sidelines. Couldn't really – I'm trying to look around players to see how that play ended. I wasn't in a very good position. He didn't catch the ball. I thought I overheard someone say it hit him in the hands and he dropped it, but I don't know if they're talking about Tesla. I don't know if they're talking about the guy covering him. It was crowded. It was very difficult to get a good bird's eye view of what was happening. At one point, I even held my camera up or my phone trying to get footage. But I saw a lot of drills. I saw them. I mean, these guys are all soaking it in. Tesla does look fast right off the snap. He looks pretty quick. For his size, his frame, he's got room to grow. That's what's crazy is he could add on a little bit of meat if he wanted to. He's got the frame, and I think he has the athleticism. And you saw some of that. You got a pretty good look at just how athletic, what he's capable of. You could see a little bit of it there. That's exactly what I was thinking. He didn't look that tall. Listen, I'm not saying he's not the 6'4". I shouldn't say that. He might be. I don't know. But I saw him stand toe-to-toe with KJ. And KJ, again's listed at 6'3". So he's probably somewhere between like a tall 6'2" and maybe a really short, like a short 6'4", like on the dot. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You can't really, unless you see him walk in a room with just shoes on and nothing else, no pads, no helmet. It's really tough to say. He's a big-bodied receiver. I'll say that. We're not talking about a Isaiah Centenia. We're talking about – you can see the difference when you see Centenia standing next to the other receivers. Centenia looks like he comes down to like here on these dudes. He just looks so short. I mean, he's a smaller guy, right? You expect him to line up in the slot. Who do you think chimes? Oh, I don't know. Out of the ACC, who do I think comes out of the ACC? I don't know. I haven't looked at it just yet. I probably shouldn't have read that. I thought you were asking me a spring question, but I'll get to that in a second, JC, about if you're talking about basketball. I saw Washington, redshirt freshman tight end, line up with the ones. Saw him in drills. Thought he looked really good. He is a strong – the indication I get out of Washington, he is a really good camper. He did really well in fall camp last year. He was really impressive. And he was really impressive in fall camp, talking about Ty Washington. He looked pretty good day one. We'll see if he can continue to do that. This is a guy that is fighting for that one spot. And I think the goal of these tight ends should be, this is what I'm telling my players, right? If I'm the tight end coach, hey, look, Sam is looking in the portal to grab the guy that's going to beat you out for the one spot. He's looking in the portal. He's talked about going and grabbing an older guy. Let's prove him wrong. Morgan Turner, the tight end coach, I guarantee you that, or at least that would be my emphasis to the players. You need to go out and prove to Sam Pittman we don't need to go to the portal. Let's show him here in spring camp. And Ty Washington, I think, is someone who's capable of doing that. Didn't see a lot of Luke Haas out there, but I saw Washington. I saw him line up with the ones. The receivers are just huge. Haas is definitely the shorter of the bunch of the tight ends. Let me pull up the rest of my notes here. Where are you at? Broden, definitely 6'7". I mean, I'll say that. He's definitely the tallest of the receivers. Broden is huge. Andrew Armstrong is a big dude. Yeah. Didn't get a chance to see the linebackers. Didn't see the defense at all. I was mostly with the offense. Criswell looked a little like he's still trying to get used to what he's doing from a passing perspective, just trying to throw the ball. I mean, he looked pretty good. I mean, again, I'm taking into consideration this is day one. This is rust. These are guys trying to find their spot. Now, we're going to be back there today. I think we don't have to be back today until 4:30. Make sure I'm looking at that right. I don't want to show up. Yeah, 4:30 today, March 10th. Yep. So 4:30. So you'll start seeing more footage and stuff come out later, probably around 5:30 of some more camp. I don't know if we're going to be inside again today. I suspect we'll be outside. KJ looked pretty crisp. I did see a couple of his balls were dropped, a couple of his passes were dropped, but overall, again, I think they looked pretty. I think it looked indicative to me of a day one spring camp. There's not a ton that you could take away. I saw Dan Enos. He was running with KJ. It was pretty interesting. They're doing a ball protection drill where the quarterbacks are running with the ball, and he was running with KJ and kind of mouthing with him, having a little bit of fun. Enos was not afraid to chew some ass. He chewed someone on the staff, not anyone like an assistant, but I think you have the like grad assistants who are responsible for getting, they're kind of like the smaller cogs in the machine. They kind of help practice move around and function. And I think someone had not gotten personnel situated on time. I kind of wish I'd captured that on film, but I didn't. Maybe someone else did. Enos was not happy about it. He chewed somebody out over it. It wasn't a player. It wasn't another like coach on the staff. It was one of the I think they're college kids. I think they're like almost like the volunteer status. I don't know what you call them. They're like GAs. But he was not happy that his guys were not ready to go. Sam Pittman got into somebody's ass on the offensive line. They were running fastball. Now, fastball is their quick simulation scrimmage, right? It's really fast pace. this is clearly a Sam Pittman thing because they're still doing it. I thought this might be a Kendall Briles exercise. It's clearly a Sam Pittman thing because he's now doing it. It's the same thing that we saw during fall camp and during day-to-day in practice there in the week. So you line up, and typically the starters get a couple of attempts, then you sub in the twos, and then you sub in the threes. And it's live ball versus the defense, right? And it's, and so they did that, and at one point, someone on the offensive line, Sam didn't feel like got up there quick enough, didn't respond quick enough after the next play. He was on their ass. He was on the center's ass for not snapping the ball. I mean, it was kind of nuts. Singletary fumbled a snap. Expected. It's day one, spring camp. I actually watched it again on my footage. I thought it might have been Criswell, but it was actually Singletary that dropped the snap. Again, a lot of this stuff is day one expected. Sam's getting to know these guys. They're getting to know Sam. They're getting to know Dan Enos. Enos is getting to know them a little bit. So there's definitely, coaches are letting them know what's going on. It felt like a regular practice to me, just from the coaches. That's kind of what they were demanding. That was something they wanted. Fastball on defense. Okay. Are they really serious about running a 4-man front, not with an edge like a linebacker, right? They call it the jack. Yes. They want 4 beefy defensive linemen up front. Now, Sam talked about that over the week. He's talked about that. I heard him on Bernaccini's show. He called in. They want 4 they want defensive linemen. They did that. I didn't catch who they all were. I saw Cam. Oh my gosh, what's the redshirt freshman? Blanking on his name. I had his name in front of me yesterday, and I oh my gosh, Nico Davier. Nico. They had all these guys are expected to be to run with the ones. Cam Ball involved, but they definitely had 4 defensive linemen up front. It was good to see. It was something we were kind of waiting on. Like, are they going to run? And the first thing all the media did on that fastball session was they immediately ran down the other, from one side of the out of bounds all the way down almost to the end zone just to see what the forefront or what the defense was looking like and how they were lining up. They had 4 defensive linemen on the field, defensive linemen on the field. So Sam said this last year. Sam said, I want 4 defensive linemen. I want a 4-man front. I think you probably see a little bit of a multiple look, but all we saw yesterday when the defense was on the field was a 4-man front. So that is good to see. I just got here. Sorry if you answered this, but did you go watch the practice in person? I did, yeah. If so, how's the defensive coordinator looking? Now, Corey, I didn't get a good shot at the defensive staff. Again, where I was at was really with the offense. Today, I'm going to try to get down to the defensive side of things on the defense. We're going to be down there at 4:30. Now, I'm going to have to haul ass back and get ready for the basketball game. This has been a crazy-ass week. Crazy week, but a lot of content to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. But I didn't get a good look at the defense at all. Like, all I saw was what was going on the offense. So yeah, I mean, that was really it. I mean, my summary is that they clearly want they clearly want to move to a 4-man front. Sam's saying hi to the new players, and he's chewing on some ass. It was good to see Ty Washington running with the ones. It was kind of, Centennia was trying to get involved. I saw him, I think he ran mostly with the twos. They kind of they were really running a mix. So for me to say so-and-so was running with the ones, twos, and threes isn't really even a fair indication of what was really happening. They were running mix. It was a lot of mix. They're mixing guys up, especially at wide receiver. Right now, it's we're going to take it kind of a day at a time. When spring is all over with, we can go back and assess and re-look at some things and take it for what you will and get ready for the summer and eventually get ready for fall camp. But Arkansas getting things ready, day one. The newbies look like newbies. I'll say that. You can almost point them out. It was interesting. This is my first ever spring camp. I didn't go to spring camp last year. I went to fall camp and I went to the practices during the season. So I'm in some ways I'm just as new to some of this as they are, but How fast does Tesla look? Yeah, I talked about that a minute ago, Michael. I like I said, I thought he looked pretty quick for someone his size. We saw his athleticism. I wish, maybe I'll upload the video, and maybe I'll do that in Discord if it lets me. But there was a deep ball thrown to him on the sidelines, and the ball was dropped. I don't know if he dropped it. You could look at the footage. There's no way of knowing because I had someone literally right to my left who kind of steps in the way, and I couldn't see how the play ended, but I know he didn't catch the ball. And it was even hard to see if whether or not he had a step on the guy. But in their drills, he definitely looked pretty quick off the snap. Like I said, a lot of big bodies at wide receiver. They're going to be big, just like they were last year. They're going to have big bodies at wide receiver. Now, that was kind of I don't know if that was a Kendall Briles thing or if Sam just feels more comfortable with the bigger guys so they could block better downfield. I don't know. But I guess they're going to keep that routine going for a little while. They certainly they're stacking them up, man. They've got some big receivers. They're big bodies. I bet they average like 6'2", 6'2" across the board. Like just as an average. They got a number of 6'3" and 6'4" and plus. We aren't going to miss. Okay, that's basketball. I thought it was interesting how Sam said he will never plug a transfer into the starting lineup ever again. I saw UCF film where T. Will put out a 5-man front. Oh, my. Could you imagine that up against some run-heavy offense? 5 guys up front. Either way, loser's going to pretend like it's not a big deal. Oh, that's another tournament comment. Okay, so that's really it. I mean, we'll see today. Again, we'll be there. Media will be there at 4:30. Some of them will. I don't know how many today because you've got the basketball game, an hour and a half later. But I'm going to go. I'm going to be there. I'm going to take it all in, get some more footage. I'm excited about it. So, yeah, all right. We're at the hour mark. We got Alabama, Mississippi State coming up today. I'm going to try and catch that. Yeah. Really looking forward to the rest of the weekend, honestly. I mean, again, you got football, spring camp today, basketball. Hopefully Arkansas can advance. Like I said, I'm taking the Hogs. I'm absolutely taking the Razorbacks. I don't know. I think it's going to be slim. I think it's going to be a tough, tight game. I think we covered everything, right? We get everything? Oh, NBA mock draft, by the way. I was looking that up this morning. This is fascinating. This is NBA.com. 57 minutes. We'll say at the 57-minute mark. NBA.com has the Indiana Pacers drafting Nick Smith at the 6th spot. They've got him going at 6. They've got Anthony Black. Where's he at? Where are you at? Number 10 to the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans. They got him at the 10th spot. Ricky Council in the first round at 27th to the Utah Jazz. Council shooting 27% from 3-point, 78% from the free throw line. Shouldn't cause teams to write off his scoring potential. Everything else about it feels easy to buy, given his ball handling and burst for creation, athletic finishing, and speciality, shot making. I love saying it like that. Shot making inside the arc. Fascinating. I mean, they like him at 27th in the first round. And then Jordan Walsh, not in the first round, but they've got Jordan Walsh right now, and this is NBA.com, or Bleacher Report. This is the Bleacher Report mock draft. Where is he? He was in the 40s. Yeah, Jordan Walsh, 46 to the Atlanta Hawks. Walsh's quickness to lock up, guard multiple positions, and defend with intensity should sway NBA teams to remain patient with his shooting consistency and off the dribble development. So I suspect he'll come back one way or another. Maybe I think he'll be a Razorback next year. That's what sucks about the game today, right? You just don't know. But they've got 4 Razorbacks in the top 50. Nick Smith, Anthony Black, Ricky Council, and Jordan Walsh. So there you go. For anyone that was curious about that. I could see RC going to Utah, but I really want Nick Smith Jr. in OKC. Problem is that the NBA has a draft lottery, right? The NBA champions could get the number 1 pick. Yeah. Did they still use hurry up, no huddle? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was fastball. That's what they do in fastball. A lot of pistol formation, by the way, Elvin. A lot of pistol. Saw a quarterback line up under center. Saw that, I think, several times. I mean, I'm not saying, listen, it's too early to say that this is going to be Bielema ball. It's too early to say that. I mean, they were pretty efficient passing the football with Brandon Allen in 2015. And you feel like they probably have the weapons this year to throw the ball around. Maybe their approach is going to be, we're going to be even. And that's kind of Enos. That's what Enos wants to do. But yeah, Ty, would you eat the moon if it were made out of ribs? John, that is the most off-the-wall question I think I've ever had in this chat. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. If you watch Alabama, Mississippi State, I'll probably be watching it as well while I'm cooking my ribs that I got from the moon. All right? Yeah. All right. Woo Pig, and I'll see you guys later tonight. Remember, post-game tonight, and then if Arkansas advances, we'll keep doing the post-games. So happy Flamingo Friday. I'll see you guys later tonight. Go Hogs.